We're going to give you our top 10 tips and demonstrate the value that you will find in this course. So quick disclaimer, nothing in this video or on these pages is to be taken as financial or legal advice. Tip number 1, how did we buy land when we started with almost no money, no land, and poor credit? Well, there's a lot of different strategies to achieve different financial goals. Personally, the one that we used for this was we got a partner that bought the land and he put the land in a corporation called a holdings company. He then co-signed for the corporation for the mortgage, and then after it was all said and done, he transferred us ownership in the corporation. This way we can own the land, but we didn't have to go through the mortgage process because our credit wasn't really good enough at the time. And we kept majority ownership and control because we were able to communicate our vision in such a way that it demonstrated the high value that we'll be bringing to the property. And to give you an example of that, we bought our land for about $210,000. It's cheap because we're way up in the mountains and most people wouldn't think it's farmable or very usable or anything like that, but we're getting around that using permaculture techniques. And after the first year of building, the land, including an automated business with cash flow, was valued at around $1 million. So our partner didn't even have to do anything and their value went up by 5 times. But we're doing the work, and that is why it's fair that we have majority ownership, and that is how you can get someone to buy property with you when you have no money and not awesome credit. And as you can tell, although this course covers infrastructure and solar power and building and growing food, etc., all the classic off-grid stuff, it also covers the business and financial strategies that you need to make all that stuff even possible in the first place, make your journey more comfortable, and to just live a life closer to modern standards. So these are some of the rarest skills in the world. You can take these with you for the rest of your life. You can apply them to all areas of your life. Tip number 2, how to create and communicate value like that, like we did. So it starts with, it's a 4-step process. And this is vision, problem, solution, and your ask. If you walk up to someone and say, hey, I'd like to buy rural land, do you want to help me out? You'll probably have a low to medium chance of success, and you might attract someone that's not fully aligned with your values, which can lead to bigger issues down the road. But if you do it right, it will attract things like you wouldn't believe. In our first year, people donated us a sauna, wall tents, Airbnb stays, kitchen appliances, wood stoves, a golf cart, equipment and machinery. They long-term lent us a teepee and a wood mill. It was probably worth well over $50,000, and we didn't even ask for any of it. We did ask for the wood mill, that's about it, but people just kept bringing us stuff. This is the power of communicating in a good way, and here's how. So the 4-step process goes like this: vision, problem, solution, product, or ask. So now you would walk up to somebody, and step 1 is you explain your vision. Imagine living this way, owning land, being close to nature, having a river flow through the property, living with friends and family, whatever it is, just daydream with them, have fun with it. It helps get people emotionally connected with your vision. Then step 2, problems. What are the problems that you're solving? What are the problems that are making you want to do this in the first place? What are the things that are painful for you in regular life that you want to change? Now, for us, it's the rise in mental illness, the unhealthy crap in our broken food systems, environmentalism, lack of community. There's so many things. Relate that to your personal story. So something that you've experienced. Maybe you've had mental or physical health issues before because the system failed you. And maybe you went tree planting and there was a moment you realized how messed up the environment is, and now you want to create a better way of living. You want to bundle that up with your story. Now step 3, the solution. Explain how what you want to do solves the problem that you just talked about. So maybe you're doing a permaculture plan and it's going to help save the environment. Step 4, the product. This is where you make your ask. This, for example, if you're starting with no land, is where you would show them a few real estate listings and ask if they want to be involved. The key here, again, is working your own personal story into it. That gets people involved with your vision so they can feel what you feel, then they can see and feel the value that you know is there. And you can use this method across any platforms and for anything. You could be talking in person, You could be posting on social media, maybe making a video out of it, buying land, getting donations, emailing a supplier, almost anything. It inspires people and it works. Tip number 3, our model. This is like a business model, I guess. It's a way to make your life way easier, reduce your risk of losing money, increase the likelihood of your success, and automate your property's finances and a whole lot more. So the model goes like this: buy land, install wow factor, generate income, and reinvest it. A wow factor is something that attracts people to your project. It could be a wood fire sauna, a river running through your property, or even just a concept that you're using like permaculture farming. And these are things that people want to be involved with. Whether it's a guest coming to buy your produce or stay in an Airbnb rental, or a partner buying land with you, it attracts everybody. So you buy land, you install wow factors that attract people to be involved and help you in any way you need help, which makes it easier to generate the income with any type of economic engine that you choose, and then you reinvest that money into your property. It's a self-reinforcing model. Investing money into the land increases your land value. It increases the wow factor, which then generates a higher income, which lets you invest more money into your land, and the cycle continues. Tip number 4, here's how it helps you reduce your risk and why it's important. Buying land is generally considered to be a safe investment. So if you buy it or have partners that help buy, if the market stays good, you can sell it and you can get your money out. There are other scenarios, obviously, and I'll touch on those too here. So the wow factors, the income generation, and the reinvesting into it all make it worth a lot more. So for example, our neighbor's property has only gone up about 50%, and our property value has gone up about 400%, and that's the difference in the regular way of living versus our model. So best case, you live your dream and everything is great. Worst case, you have to sell the land, but it's worth more, so you get all your money back, or you potentially even make money. Or let's say the market drops out and then your property value is too low, so you don't want to sell it. Now you still have a badass place to live. It's generating an income for you, so you don't have to work a day job. It's growing food for you, and you're just chilling in your wood fire hot tub. Personally, I would be happy with either of those outcomes. That's how our model reduces your risk and reduces the risk of anyone getting involved with your project, which they will be very happy to hear when you approach them with your offer if you want to work with them. So tip number 5, what is an economic engine? An economic engine is essentially a business that's automated, meaning it will operate without you even being there, and that's something that sparks other economic opportunities on your land. So for example, we created some Airbnb stays and a campground. Then we got caretakers that manage it all and automate the communication. Now we can focus on building stuff and doing the things that we enjoy and are good at, which is essentially living the off-grid dream. And when the guests come here, they create opportunities for us to sell our produce to them, for example. So we wouldn't have to drive for hours to hit all the local markets. We don't have to spend our time and money on fuel, etc. The customers come to us and they feel more connected to the land and to the food, and they're happy to pay higher prices for premium food. They feel good about it, which leads to better digestion, and it's just all around just better and good for everybody. So it also creates economic opportunity for our caretakers. One of them, for example, is a massage therapist. Now she has clients coming to her, and that's how that integrates. Tip number 6 is the importance of assessing land before you buy, where to buy, and then we'll go over a bit about zoning. So we have a friend that bought land. All was well for the first few years, and then his property started flooding every year, and now he can't even sell it. Our friend Caroline bought land on a beautiful island off the coast of Vancouver. They spent their life savings creating a retreat center, and then the local governing body wouldn't even allow them to open. Last year I visited a property near ours, and they forgot to check the water table before buying, so they paid a lot of money to have a well drilled, and when they went down 500 feet and only got half a gallon of water. That is really, really bad. They drilled another one and got the same result. So this is the importance of assessing land before you buy. So consult an expert and know all your options. Spending $1,000 now might save you $1 million and your life's work down the road. So here's a few tips off the top of my head for helping to assess land, because it's such an important topic. So If you're just buying barren land with no well on it, you can contact your local drillers or the city and they'll give you a water map of the area so that you can see your neighbors' wells, how deep they are, etc. That way you can gauge the water table on your potential lot. And if it were me, I'd make sure to buy enough acreage that you have a large enough area to capture rainwater using ponds and swales, and gently sloped land is best for water catchment. Tip 8, where should you buy? We get this question all the time. Obviously, we can't answer this for all areas, but try to stay within a few hours of a city and or under an hour of a nearby town. If you're 7 hours away from a major town or city and one of your machines breaks down and you need parts, that really sucks. Or if you need to hire someone to help you, you're paying for their travel time, and transportation of goods is a major cost. So this helps you reduce it and make sure you have access to the things that you might need. Plus, you want a good population of people nearby for customers to operate your economic engines potentially. Customers are always solvable though. As a rule of thumb with that, I generally say that the further a customer has to drive, the more wow factor you need to get them there easily. Tip number 9, I don't have enough time to dive fully into land zoning on this video, but if you go to your regional district's website, they should have a government mapping system where you can click a checkbox of the different types of zones, and then you can browse the areas on the map by zone type. We bought land with no zoning, which is rare, but we found it using one of those maps. And this means that we can build unlimited amounts of buildings. We could build a skyscraper, a roller coaster. We could have 1,000 people live here, and we could stay up all night with no bylaws for noise complaints, and we don't need a business license to operate. Tip number 10, land design. How to design your property and where to start once you get it. Start with the acronym WAS. That's WAS, Water Access Structures, in that order. If you start building access roads without understanding how rain is falling on your land, how that water is flowing, and what you want to do with it, the roads could actually cause drought and lead to poor soil on your land. That can cause an issue. And build out in zones. Zone 1 is your home base. It's your house, your shop, your tool storage. Zone 2 is your greenhouse, your garden. Zone 3 is your orchard trees. Zone 4 is your pasture and cattle, etc. You want the more labor-intensive things closer to your home base so it reduces your time spent walking to and from and grabbing tools if you forget something, and fuel usage, labor hours, and all of that stuff. And lastly, caretakers and general agreements with them. Caretakers will make your life abundantly easier. Our arrangement is that they bring their own house, like a tiny home, and they essentially stay for free in exchange for 2 hours of work per day. They can help grow food, they can eat from the land, they help manage whatever it is that you want help with, or build things, etc. And a residential tenancy agreement gives tenants more rights than you. My friend once rented his house to a guy that turned it into a crack house. They called the cops and the cops couldn't even do anything. They turned to him and they told my friend, if you do this the legal way, they'll never have to leave and they'll destroy your house. He honestly recommended that my buddy wait until they leave and then change the locks on the doors. And we don't want to have to deal with that. We want to be able to kindly and respectfully part ways with someone on our land if that's what is best. So we use a commercial lease agreement instead, and that ensures that we don't have those kinds of issues. I would recommend only accepting people that have some type of labor background, like working on a farm or working construction. Folks that have come through our place that don't have that background, even when they're great people and have the best intentions and we like them, they just haven't had the work ethic and the experience to be a good match for us necessarily. All right, I'm gonna end this off with a quote from a really good friend of mine. He once told me, "The life-changing ideas of our world are formed by the insane beliefs of stubborn men and women unwilling to conform to society's boundaries and have their genius shrouded by the tired ideas of others. Be different, be yourself, change the world." This course multiplies your genius, gives you the tools you need to create your ideas, and the world needs it now more than ever. It's time to bring your vision to life. We're average folks and we've done it, and so can you. We're here to help, along with the amazing community of like-minded, extremely supportive people.